All right. Our next unit is going to be over all things shapes and geometry with formulas, volume, surface area. We're going to start with a review of circumference and area of circles. So when you put this in your journal, you need to skip a page, and I'll make sure to get you your table of contents when I see you tomorrow. So we're going to talk about the definition and the formula of circumference. We're going to talk about finding circumference when we have a radius, a diameter, and how do you find the radius or the diameter when we're given the circumference. Keep in mind that a radius only goes partway across the circle, and a diameter goes all the way across. And the relationship between the radius and the diameter is, remember, the diameter is 2 times the radius, but a radius is a diameter divided by 2. When we look at these today, we're going to make sure that we're writing our formula. So the circumference, we'll just review the definition. Circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle. And we have 2 formulas for circumference. The first one is pi times diameter, and the second one is 2 times pi times the radius, because remember what we just wrote on the front, 2 times the radius is in fact the diameter. We can use either 3.14 or 22/7 as an approximation for pi. Last year we talked about 22/7 is best to use when we are multiplying by 7, because then we can cross reduce. So let's first look at some radius questions. Find the circumference of a circle below. They're telling us to use 3.14 for pi. In all things, just like we did geometry last year, we will always start with the formula. We have a radius, so we are going to use this formula. So we're going to say C is equal to 2 times pi times r. Second, we're going to plug in our numbers. So C equals 2. In place of pi, we're going to put 3.14. The radius is 9. We can simplify this to 18 times pi. If you remember last year, we talked about pi as dessert, save it for last. Only this year you have a calculator. So you could, in fact, go ahead. After you've set it up, I have got to see all of these steps. 2 times pi times 9 is in fact 56.52. So our circumference is 56 and 5200 centimeters. Centimeters, don't forget your unit. In like manner, we can also do this using 22/7. So again, this is a multiple of 7. So we'll see. So it's still a radius, 2 times pi times r, 2, and now I'm putting in 22/7, and the radius is 21. If I wanted, I could put a 1 over that. And I can see here, I know based on 6th grade, we can cross reduce or simplify. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times. So now I have 2 times 22 times 3, 6 times 22, and then we can go to our calculator. Now, when you do this, you could, in fact, put the original whole thing in, because we can put a fraction into our calculator, times 21. We get 132, which is, in fact, what 6 times 22 is. So we can write C equals 132. This is feet. Circumference is just units. It is not units squared, just units. So what happens when we have a diameter? Okay, this is a diameter. So we are now going to use pi times d. So C is equal to 3.14 times 22. You can set that up for me. You're good to go. 3.14 times 22 is 69 800 miles. If you do not have units, you will lose points, so please be very specific. Here's another one with a diameter, but now we're using 22/7. It is a multiple of 7, so C equals pi times d. 22/7 times 14 over 1. I can simplify. I should get 44 inches. I can plug it into my calculator to make sure. 22 over 7 times 14 is in fact 44. So 22 over 7 is actually much easier than 3.14. Now, what if we need to work backwards? So we're going to use pi for 3.14 for pi, and the circumference is 11304. So I know I have a radius here, 2 times pi times r, and we're going to plug in what we know. So 113.04 is equal to 2 times 3.14 times r. Now, we're going to use our equation rules that we've already learned forever and a day ago. And I can simplify. I have 113.04 is equal to 6.28 times r. And how do I get r by itself? Well, I've got to divide by 6.28. And I can come over here and I can say 113.04 divided by 6.28 is in fact 18. So my radius, and they give us kilometers up here, is 18 kilometers. So our equation rules are not going to go away. Here we have 22 over 7 and a diameter. So C equals pi d. 88 equals 22 over 7 times d. So blast from the past, when you're solving this, if you have a fraction, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. Because we know that these will become 1. 22 and 88 simplifies to 1 and 4. So 7 times 4 is 28 yards. We can, in fact, also come over here. Now, if you didn't remember multiply by the reciprocal, you know you need to divide. So 88 divided by, and you can put the fraction in here. It will do it. 22 over 7. Is in fact 28. Or if you remembered you needed to multiply by the reciprocal, 88 times 7 over 22 is also 28. So there's your review on circumference. We're going to do some more in class tomorrow with area, and then we'll do it all. We'll look at it all together.